At 9 a.m. on a random weekday, a small group of people sit around a table. No cameras, no elections, no dramatic speeches. They change one number. And months later, someone you don't know loses a job. Someone else can't afford rent anymore. And someone decides to not have a child. That number is an interest rate, and it quietly runs your life. Right now, this matters because that number has moved faster than it has in decades. You feel it even if you don't track economics. Groceries feel tighter, hiring feels slower, rent feels cruel. Everyone keeps saying the economy is cooling. That sounds nice, like switching off a fan. In reality, it's closer to squeezing a pipe and hoping it doesn't crack. Let's strip this down. No jargon, no graphs. Imagine the entire economy runs on borrowing. Businesses borrow to expand. Landlords borrow to build buildings. Governments borrow to function. You borrow for homes, cars, education, sometimes survival. Interest is the price of borrowing. That's it, nothing mystical. When that price is low, money moves easily. People take risks. Companies hire early. Builders build. When that price rises, everyone hesitates. Now here's the part most people miss. Interest rates don't just affect loans, they affect decisions, and decisions affect jobs. Say you run a company, you want to open a new office. Last year, borrowing cost you 4%. Today, it cost you 9%. Same idea, same office, very different math. At 4%, you hire. At 9%, you wait. You don't fire people dramatically, you just don't hire. You freeze. You delay promotions. You cancel projects quietly. That's how job markets weaken. Not with headlines, with hesitation. Now zoom out. Millions of companies doing this at the same time. That's not an accident, that's the goal. Central banks raise rates to slow things down. They want fewer people borrowing, less spending, less pressure on prices. They're trying to cool inflation, but cooling an economy means cooling people's lives. Now, let's talk about rent. This is where it gets uncomfortable. Most landlords didn't buy property with cash, they borrowed, often heavily. When rates rise, their costs rise. Mortgages reset, refinancing gets expensive. So what do? They pass it on. Not because they're evil, because the math forces them to. Rent doesn't rise because landlords wake up one morning greedy. It rises because debt got more expensive upstream. Here's the irony. Higher rates are supposed to fight inflation, but in the short term, they push rents up. That's why people feel gaslit. You raised rates to help us. Why is everything worse? Because the system works with a delay, and the delay hurts. Now, let's go one layer deeper, the future. When interest rates rise, safe assets start paying more. Government bonds, savings accounts, low-risk investments. That sounds good, until you realize what it replaces: risk. When money earns 1%, investors chase startups, ideas, growth. When money earns 6% doing nothing, investors get boring. They pull back from experiments, from young companies, from innovation. That means fewer startups, fewer weird tabs, fewer second chances. An economy with high rates becomes cautious, efficient, and quietly conservative. That shapes your future more than any career advice ever will. Now here's the part no one likes to say out loud. Interest rates don't hit everyone equally. If you already own assets, higher rates can protect you. If you rely on wages, they can crush you. Asset prices may wobble, but job security wobbles first. That's the hidden lever. Rates are a blunt tool. They slow inflation by slowing people. And there's one more uncomfortable truth. Central banks don't target happiness or affordability or fairness. They target stability. If keeping prices stable requires unemployment to rise a little, that's considered acceptable, not publicly, quietly. That's why this single number matters so much. It's not just economic, it's moral. Now zoom all the way out. Every major crisis in modern history involves rates being too low for too long or too high for too fast. Booms happen when money is cheap. Busts happen when money suddenly isn't. We're living in that transition zone right now. the part history books summarize in one sentence, but millions live through in real time. So the next time you hear rates may stay higher for longer, understand what that means. It means companies waiting, rent staying tight, futures being postponed, all from one number, changed in one room by people you'll never meet. And the question isn't whether interest rates control your life. They already do. The real question is how much pain society is willing to accept to keep the system stable.